And now we have a stunning admission from a Democrat senator.
Here's the reason. We did fail.
Chuck Sniffer can't keep his own people together. Ladies and gentlemen, today is day 36 of the government shutdown. Republicans have held like 81 million votes to reopen the government and haven't succeeded, and it's all because of the filibuster. They need Democrat votes. The word filibuster literally comes from the Dutch language, which means hijack. We can thank Aaron Burr for this because in 1789, the Senate rules adopted by then Vice President John Adams included the previous question motion, which required a simple vote to overcome debate, like the House. Then in 1806, Aaron Burr recommended that the Senate remove the previous question motion because to him it cluttered the rules. He literally accidentally created unlimited debate in the Senate. And in 1841, because of that change, Democrat senators, it's always Democrats, started using the filibuster. And they would use it to postpone debates on emancipation and later civil rights. It's always Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. It was never something the founders intended for the country. Yet we have it anyways, just like a lot of things the founders didn't intend. There we go, that's a little crash course on the history of the filibuster. So the Senate is currently debating. John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, said the Senate could work through the weekend if there's a path forward to vote. And it's up to the Democrats. This is something that pissed me off. One Democrat said reversing some of the Trump administration's mass firings of federal employees has also been discussed. Hell no. But the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, said he would not commit to a vote on healthcare subsidies in the lower chamber. The thing Democrats have been saying about this shutdown is that Republicans are preventing healthcare from getting funding. And ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat senator from Vermont had this to say on the Senate floor.
I owe you an answer on why it is I'm standing here today asking to extend something that was temporary. And here's the reason. We did fail to bring down the cost of health care. I owe you an answer on why it is I'm...
That's all we've been asking to hear. He's referring to Obamacare. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, was supposed to bring down healthcare costs for everybody using government subsidies. And all it's done is double, triple, quadruple everyone's premiums. People who had their own private insurance can no longer afford it. It's an understatement to say Obamacare has been a failure, because it's been more than a failure. It's a policy that has legitimately destroyed the country. And Democrats want Republicans to save Obamacare's legacy by further funding it. And I'm going to tell it like it is. Republicans don't seem serious about doing something about Obamacare, especially those in the Senate. Lest we forget, John McCain voted no. He did that famous thing where he did that to repealing the Affordable Care Act and replacing it with something better in Trump's first term. Ever since that time, Republicans just kind of gave up. And at a time when voters are worried about affordability, this needs to be addressed. And it's now time for Republicans to work on a solution. It's not enough to just say, oh, the current system sucks. Yeah, but what's your solution for it? By the way, Peter Welch is not the only Democrat talking about these sky-high premiums. He's the only one that's going to admit they failed, but Democrats like Bernie Sanders also know it sucks. Look at Bernie.
I'm getting a lot of questions lately about, what this government shutdown is about. So let me tell you. Right now, in Vermont and all over this country, insurance companies are sending to their customers the estimates of what their new premiums will be. In Vermont, literally today, people are receiving information that there will be a doubling or in some cases a quadrupling, 4 times increase in their health insurance premiums. And this is on top of the fact that 15 million people are being currently thrown off of healthcare if Trump's proposals go through. So that is what this shutdown is about. Is whether we allow working class, middle class people to be paying, in some cases, in Vermont, around the country, over $50,000 for a family of 4 for health insurance. Who in God's name can afford to pay $50,000 a year for health insurance? So what this shutdown is about is telling Trump and his Republican friends, you know what, you can't give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%, to Musk, Bezos, and all your oligarchic friends, while at the same time you're destroying the American healthcare system and making healthcare totally unaffordable for the American people.
Okay, Bernie, the reason health insurance got more expensive is because government got involved. When the government gives these corporations a blank checkbook, guess what? They're going to write whatever number they want. And nobody can compete with government. Government subsidies literally hurt everyone else. Bernie asked how someone who makes 50K a year can pay for their own health insurance. Well, Bernie, if you guys hadn't been spending all this money in the government, people could actually live off of $50,000. But the government prints so much money that we have had inflation for God knows how long. We've spent trillions of dollars on wars, trillions of dollars on subsidies for all these industries, trillions of dollars on welfare programs. The government caused all these problems. Amy Klobuchar, the senator from Somali, says families are facing skyrocketing healthcare premiums right now. This isn't a December thing or a January thing. Republicans must stop blocking the extension of the healthcare tax credits and work with us to prevent premiums from doubling for millions of Americans. I have to admit, Democrats have masterfully turned this around with their messaging. It is their fault that we're in this current healthcare crisis, but they're saying it's because Republicans aren't spending enough money on it, even though the problem is the government's involvement. Republicans really need to get better at messaging because Democrats are coming across as we care about your healthcare cost, even though they're the reason healthcare costs are so high right now. The Senate is expected to hold a key vote on Friday. They want to extend funding for several more weeks while passing 3 separate appropriations bills. Republicans hope the moderate Democrats who have been in the negotiations all week will vote to at least advance the bill with the expectation that it will be amended and include some longer-term funding. This approach would not address the expiring healthcare subsidies. Most Democrats want a tangible policy, not just the promise of a vote. This is what Senate President J.D. Vance just said. What the Democrats are doing on the government shutdown is genuinely unprecedented. And while the administration has shielded the American people from the worst of the consequences, all of this is coming and soon. An aviation emergency that will lead to significant travel delays for all Americans. Food stamp and other assistance programs running out for needy Americans. Great strains on our military and national security. The shutdown is now passed from farce into tragedy, and the consequences of this national emergency fall on every senator and congressman who refuses to open the government. Eventually, they'll fold. Democrats use the shutdown as something to juice their base to go vote in New Jersey, New York, and in many other places. And so those elections have passed. They can stop the political games. The longer this shutdown goes, the more people are going to look to the Democrats because they're the minority party holding the country hostage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.